There was a small girl who lived in the farms with her family named Lila. They recently moved to the farms from a big city, and Lila loved her gadgets. She had a tablet, a phone, and a computer. All day long she played games and watched videos. The colors on the screens were bright and exciting. Lila knew the names of all the characters. She could navigate any digital world with ease. Outside her window the sun rose and set. Birds sang, butterflies fluttered, but Lila didn't notice. "Lila, darling," her grandmother would say, "why don't you go outside and play? The fresh air will do you good." But Lila would just shake her head. "It's boring outside, Grandma. There's nothing to do." Lila's grandmother would sigh. She wished Lila could see the beauty of the real world, the world that waited just beyond the screen. One day, Lila's tablet ran out of battery. She searched for her charger, but it was nowhere to be found. "Grandma!" she called. "Have you seen my charger?" "Why don't you go outside for a bit, darling?" her grandmother suggested gently. "Maybe the fresh air will spark your imagination." Lila sighed. She had no choice. She pushed open the back door and stepped outside. The sun was warm on her skin. A gentle breeze ruffled her hair. Lila took a deep breath. The air smelled of grass and flowers. It wasn't so bad, she thought. Maybe she could explore for a little while, just until her tablet charged. Lila's backyard was bigger than she remembered. At the very back, nestled among the trees, she spotted something curious. It looked like a door, a small wooden door, set into the trunk of an enormous oak tree, and it glowed with a soft, warm light. Curiosity bubbled up inside of Lila. She had never seen this door before. Where did it lead? She had to find out. As she walked towards the oak tree, she heard a whisper. "Welcome, Lila." Lila stopped in her tracks. Was someone there? She looked around, but she didn't see anyone. Then she realized that the whisper had come from the trees themselves. Their leaves rustled softly in the breeze, as if they were talking to her. Lila had never heard a tree speak before, but somehow it didn't frighten her. It felt magical, and she couldn't wait to see what wonders awaited her. Lila reached the oak tree and hesitantly touched the glowing door. It swung open easily, revealing a path into the woods beyond. Taking a deep breath, Lila stepped through the door. The woods were unlike any she had ever seen. Sunbeams slanted through the leaves, painting the forest floor in dappled light. The air hummed with the sound of birdsong and the gentle murmur of a babbling brook. And the trees! Oh, the trees were magnificent! Their branches were draped with long, flowing vines that beckoned Lila to swing on them. And swing she did. Lila laughed with delight as she soared through the air, the wind whipping through her hair. The vines felt soft and strong beneath her hands, and the trees seemed to sing with joy as she swung from one to the other. For the first time in a long time, Lila forgot all about her gadgets. She was too busy experiencing the magic of the forest. A magic that felt real and exciting and more captivating than any game she had ever played. As Lila explored deeper into the woods, she encountered all sorts of friendly creatures. Squirrels chattered at her from the branches, their bushy tails twitching. Deer grazed peacefully in sun-dappled glades, their large, gentle eyes watching her with curiosity. And high above, bluebirds soared and dipped, their cheerful songs filling the air. But her favourite creature of all was a little fox named Fern. He had bright, intelligent eyes, a bushy red tail, and a mischievous grin. Fern introduced Lila to all his forest friends and showed her all the secret paths and hidden wonders of the woods. "Welcome to our home, Lila," Fern said, his voice as warm and inviting as a crackling fire. "We've been expecting you." Lila couldn't believe how easily she fit in with the forest creatures. They treated her like one of their own, and she felt more accepted and loved than she ever had before. Together, Lila and Fern embarked on countless adventures. They discovered hidden waterfalls and sparkling streams. They climbed to the top of the tallest trees, where they could see for miles in every direction. And they searched for treasures, not gold or jewels, but natural wonders like the perfectly smooth stone or the most beautiful feather. They stumbled upon a group of rabbits who were trying to reach a patch of delicious-looking clover on the other side of a fallen log. Lila and Fern worked together to move the log, and the rabbits hopped over it with grateful squeaks. "Thank you, Lila. Thank you, Fern," they chirped, their noses twitching happily as they munched on the clover. Lila's heart swelled with pride. Helping others felt good, it felt real. And it was far more rewarding than achieving a high score in a video game. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows through the trees, Lila and Fern made their way back to the glowing door. A gentle wind rustled the leaves, showering them with a cascade of colourful flower petals. Lila laughed, catching the petals in her hands and tossing them back into the air. The forest was alive with sound and movement. The trees whispered secrets to one another, their leaves rustling like silk dresses. The brook gurgled and splashed, its clear water sparkling in the fading light. And everywhere Lila looked, animals big and small were preparing for the night, their calls echoing through the trees. Lila had never felt so alive, so connected to the world around her. The forest had awoken something within her, a sense of wonder, of peace, of belonging. As they reached the glowing door, Fern turned to Lila, his eyes twinkling. "Thank you for spending the day with me, Lila," he said. "It's been a real treat." "Thank you for showing me your world, Fern," Lila replied, her voice filled with gratitude. "It's even better than my video games." Fern chuckled softly. "The forest is always here, Lila," he said. "Whenever you need a break from the screens, whenever you need a friend, just come to the glowing door. We'll be waiting for you." Lila nodded, her heart brimming with warmth. She knew that she had found something truly special in the forest, a place where she could be herself, where she could explore and discover and simply be, a place where she felt truly happy. Lila stepped back through the glowing door into her backyard. The sky was painted in hues of pink and orange. She waved goodbye to Fern. On her head was a crown of beautiful roses. Each rose was a different color. Lila felt special and loved. "Thank you," she whispered. The crown was a gift from Fern and the forest creatures. Lila ran towards the house to tell her grandmother. She made a silent promise. She would never forget the magic or her friends, and she would return again and again. Lila burst through the back door, her cheeks flushed, her eyes sparkling. "Grandma! Grandma!" she exclaimed. "You won't believe what happened." Lila's grandmother smiled warmly, her heart filled with love. She didn't need Lila to tell her what had happened. She could see it in her eyes, in the radiant smile that lit up her face. Lila had found the magic of the forest, but more importantly, she had found the magic within herself. The magic of imagination, of wonder, of connection. And that, her grandmother knew, was the greatest gift of all.